Hello, everyone, and welcome to Magic Partners Live. I'm John, and next to me is Chase. Chase is from DisneylandToday.net, where you can find out everything you need to know about Disneyland before you travel. So head over there and make sure you do. I've got a few channels on YouTube. We'll talk about those later. How you going, Chase?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. It's been an interesting week at Disney. We've got a fair bit to talk about today. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the Disneyland Treehouse. We have a great video on that we're going to have a look at. We're going to go over to Frozen Land over there in Disneyland Hong Kong, which is just about to open. We've got a couple of videos now on the two e-ticket attraction rides to take a look at, plus a couple of photos. We have a 1 week to go until the Wish comes out. Well, it's actually 6 days now. So we're going to have a bit of a chat about that and what our expectations are of that. And then we're going to go over to Disneyland and we're going to talk all about the holidays. We're going to talk about a extensive food guide that Disney has brought out, which is quite yummy. And then we're going to finish up with a bit of Loki, because we had the last episode just last week. And there's a lot to talk about with that as well. So let's get right into it in the interest of getting through things. And let us talk about the fantastic, and I was quite surprised with the quality of it, and that is the treehouse here. So here's just a quick look at the video that got dropped just before it opened, and since then we've had a Magic Key special day for Magic Key holders, and we've also opened to the public now. So what are your thoughts on the treehouse as we take a look at the video and come up through the different rooms, Chase?
I was absolutely blown away by this beautiful, reimagining of the treehouse. It does have a new story, so even though it is inspired by Swiss Family Robinson, it is the new Swiss Family Robinson, and not the one of the original family. The original family had 3 boys, mother and father. This is 2 twin boys, a daughter, and mother and father. And I was just amazed to see how much animatronics have been put into this treehouse, and see it all beautifully come together with a reimagining of the Swiss Polka, and which is an amazing song, and it's just been made even more incredible up in the music room, Mother's music room. And I was just so happy to see that they really did an amazing job with all the time that they had to work on it. This was like an ongoing thing for like a couple of years.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Definitely when we were there over a year ago, it was not looking anywhere near done. But now you can really see why. When you look at the animatronics and everything, that's all the moving parts to it, they really have done an amazing job here. And I think a lot of people were surprised when they first saw this video and then walked through the next day. And so it's open now to everyone, which is really awesome. And this was really cool. Jane the ostrich.
I love that. Ostrich.
Yeah.
That is so neat.
So this is a bit of a surprise for everyone. Jane's obviously new, and we haven't seen Jane before. So, they were working on quite a fair bit during the time that it was under construction. So, really happy to see it open. I would have to say, just looking at it the way I have, it just really completes Adventureland now. Wouldn't you agree, Chase? Like, not having it there,
Absolutely.
there is a bit of a hole, and not having those fences up just makes such a difference to the whole section of Disneyland there. And I can imagine it's a lot easier to walk through as well. now that we don't have that obstruction. So
Yeah, and now what I was happy to see is it kind of ties in the story being right next to the Jungle Cruise.
yeah,
Because it's like they came in right by right by the river.
yep,
And
yep,
so they've incorporated that into, and she's drawn certain things that, seemed like they would tie into the Jungle Cruise, which is really, really great. I do like that association. This is a big improvement on the organ. The organ was not so, it was much, much simpler.
yep,
I like this a lot more. I like the wheel that's powered by the water. I
yep,
like look at that. I didn't notice the beaver or whatever that is turning that. Nod to Tarzan there.
yep,
And I think even the name Jane is kind of like a tie into
yeah,
Tarzan as well.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
so Jane for the ostrich, and I like the playing the violin that's on top of the organ that constantly moves. There, it's like right there.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that is so great. It
yeah, it
reminds me
is.
of Beauty and the Beast for some reason.
Yeah, you're right there. Yeah, it does. So this being the mother's room that we're taking a look at now, and it's amazing to see it. I did love the fact that they released this video because it gives us a really good look at everything that's going on in there. You can't actually walk into these rooms, so seeing a video inside the rooms is it's kind of neat. Love it a lot. So the next room they're going to take us to, I think, is the daughter's. And she's an astronomer, so quite a cool room to take a look at. I also noticed that there's quite some good views here of the daughter's room from the treehouse over the park as well, and you could also look into the line of Indiana Jones as well, which kind of ties in as well. It's sort of that same time period, and also a jungle sort of theme. So. Yeah, look, I think, like I said, it does as we look at the daughter's room here, which is
Wow.
amazing. Yep. Yeah, I love everything they've done here. I mean,
But I think the twin boys room is my favorite, though.
yeah, we're about to go to that next, and that's full of different animals of all different types, which is amazing. So yeah, there's quite a few good views from the treehouse across Adventureland and across Rivers of America as well. Really nice views. I think
Yes.
a lot of people have missed the treehouse for that as well, just being able to climb up there and perhaps see a sunset over Rivers of America or just peer out over the park as well. But here we go. Here's the
Yep, there's
twin
the
boys
boys.
room. Yep. Which is absolutely amazing as well.
And I like that the monkey keeps on tapping it to the monkey food time.
Yeah.
I love these frogs. I love
Yeah.
them. I love the frogs.
And there's the
just think
tadpoles as well. Yep. It's very
The
Disney.
toucan.
Yeah, very Disney humor the whole way through, actually, to be honest. You can see a lot of Walt in this as well with the toucan there. You can see, he would have sort of approved of this and even come up with these sort of ideas for sure.
Feed monkey, feed monkey.
Feed monkey all the time. Yep. So that's the Adventureland Treehouse. We are so excited that it's finally been opened here at Disneyland, should I say. And we cannot wait to have a look inside. I'm sure you can't either, Chase. So the next thing I sort of wanted to go over to after the Treehouse, let's venture over to China and have a look at Hong Kong Disney here. This is a photo of Frozen Land just before it's opening. It's due to open on the 20th, I believe. And Chase this morning has thrown a couple of videos at me, which is great. So I've got them here. So there's two e-ticket attractions. One of them being sliding sleighs, which is a roller coaster, and then
Yeah.
a Frozen Ever After ride as well. So let me just go over to us again. So the Frozen Ever After ride is kind of, this is my first time seeing the video. So this is kind of a look at the Frozen Ever After. Let me just put it up for you guys. And this ride here sort of bears similarities, would you say, to the one in Walt Disney World over there at
Yes.
Epcot? Yep. So let
Yeah,
me
I'd
line
say
it
it's
up.
pretty close. It's I don't think it's exact, but it definitely does everything just like the attraction. Like you do get into Elsa's palace and she's singing Let It Go, and then you do go backwards. So it's the full boat ride, just like the one over in Epcot at the World Showcase.
Yeah, okay. I'm having a bit of trouble with the video, so we'll just have a chat about it. The next one was the sliding sleighs. What I might do is when we finished, I might put a link to both of those videos down in the description down below, so you guys can go over and have a look at them.
Yeah.
And then sliding sleighs, roller coaster, but very short.
Yes.
Yeah, very short. I saw comparisons when I saw the photos of it of Mine Train over in Walt Disney World at Magic Kingdom. But you're saying it's even shorter than that, so that's interesting. It might be because the land's so large, there might be a chance for another ride to go in. But two e-ticket rides on opening is sort of a good thing anyway.
Yeah, that's pretty typical, I'd say. That's about what were expecting with when Avengers Campus came in. We got Spider-Man and we were supposed to be getting this new one. And
Yeah,
then
yep,
we'd converted over Tower of Terror into Mission Breakout. And
yep,
so that's the third attraction. So hopefully we'll get that within the next couple years. We'll get the new attraction that's supposed to come in.
yep.
The new e-ticket that's supposed to come in, but I don't think it's even started yet. So
No. So it should be a long way away. Okay, so let's move on then. Frozen Land opening on the 20th of this month. So super excited to see people walk through and all that sort of stuff. And the land looks amazing as a whole.
it does.
The next movie we have is Disney Wish, which is not to be confused with the cruise ship, but will be coming out in 6 days' time. From what you've seen of the movie, Chase, what do you think? Do you think this is going to be the movie of the year, like the release of the year for Disney? There has been a little bit of hype around it. Of course, we had Little Mermaid a little bit earlier on this year. Do you think how do you think this one will go, and how do you think it will review?
It looks like it's going to be like an original story, which is it's good to see Disney doing. It's beautiful animation on par with like Raya and Moana.
Yep.
So I think that is something definitely to look forward to. It looks beautiful. I haven't seen as much of it as I'd like to, but we do have Asha coming to the Disney parks, which is good. Meet and greet there. I haven't heard of any other characters that they're introducing to the parks, but that could change.
Yep.
And I just think it's going to do really well. I wasn't a huge fan of Elemental, but I did see it, so I watched
Yep.
it when it came on Disney Plus.
Yep.
So I think this one is going back to more of like the classic animation that we've been used to
Yeah.
since Rapunzel and
Yeah.
Tangled and
Yep.
and all that. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be in theaters, so it won't hit Disney Plus right away. So don't be waiting for it there. Go see it in theaters.
Yep.
Support the studio,
Yeah, definitely.
and but I think it'll be a good movie.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it looks good. We're actually going to go and see it next weekend. So we'll, stay right here because I'll give you a little mini review with no spoilers as soon as we've seen it. But anyway,
Nice.
let's go back to Disneyland, the happiest place on earth. And it really is at the moment because we've got Christmas, holidays as it's called, has finally arrived in the parks. And this is the castle this year, looking very, very similar to last year. I love the fact that they've put all the lights back on the castle and it's not just projection based. I just wanted to have a chat to you, let's just go off in a side tangent here because I saw a few vlogs this week on Jollywood Nights out at Disney World. And there was some pretty big statements about Jollywood Nights that happened during those vlogs. A lot of people were disappointed. And a big thing out at Disney World this year was that they're only doing projections on the castle. They haven't brought the lights back onto the castle. Most people are thinking because of the expense. It does cost about $10 million to fire retard those lights every year. So we've just had a couple of years now with projections. In fact, I think it's been like that since the pandemic. And a lot of people made some big statements. Some big vloggers, Disney vloggers made some big statements about comparisons between Disneyland and Disney World. Disneyland still doing all the traditional lighting and still doing a lot of things they have done in the past. And some of those vloggers were saying they'd rather be in Disneyland, which is a big statement.
Well, hallelujah.
Yeah. Which is a big statement. Disney World, if you've been there, you will know it is a huge situation. Like it's basically a suburb or a postcode or a zip code, if you like to say. It's massive out there. When we went out there, it was absolutely fantastic. But to hear Disney World vloggers tell us that they'd rather be in Disneyland, what is going on out there, do you think, Chase? What's happening?
We didn't have, to me anyway, and considering I was out there during it, it just seemed like Halloween was kind of blah.
Yeah.
It's just like they really did not put much of the effort except for Oogie Boogie. They put a lot of effort into Oogie Boogie, but unless you got Oogie Boogie tickets, you didn't get to see it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just like, Halloween was not that big a deal in Disneyland, but Christmas really is.
Yes. Yeah.
Main Street is gorgeous. The Very Merry Christmas Parade is amazing. The castle looks gorgeous. Look at that. The tree is gorgeous. They have the lighting ceremony every night.
Yeah.
Just after the flag ceremony, the flag retirement ceremony, they light the lights, and it really, really makes a huge difference on Main Street to see all of this. Whereas really all it was for Halloween was some bunting that was just like, orange and yellow and red, and it's just like boring. And the big monkey pumpkin, but I am so happy to see Christmas back in Disneyland in full force, and of course I can't wait to do It's a Small World holiday because it's amazing. And every year,
absolutely.
I've seen some of my friends on TikTok who have been riding it, and it just looks so gorgeous every year. And personally, my opinion remains that our small world is the best in the world.
Yeah. 100%. And the other thing that's back is this, the Christmas Fantasy Parade.
The very Merry Christmas Parade.
Yep. Yep. Which is a repeat of last year. And this is a video from last year, but it is a great parade. I think what vloggers are trying to get at is everything in Disneyland is free at the holiday time. So you don't have to go to a special ticketed event. It's included it's included in your entry into Disneyland, and everything's there. So you've got this parade, you've got the fireworks on top.
Yep.
You've got you've got the overlay in It's a Small World. Also over in DCA, there is Festival of Foods, which is great. You've got a whole heap of stalls around there. They've also got the drummers over there. They've also got the World of Colour Christmas overlay, which is over there at night time. All of this you're getting included in your park ticket, whereas over at Disney World, it feels like you need to buy a ticket to one of these special events, which there's one, a very Merry Christmas Party, which is at Magic Kingdom, of course, and then now over there with Jollywood Nights over at the Hollywood Studios, you've got another ticketed paid event, which nobody was really impressed with, to be quite honest, and I think that's what it's all about. Look, Disneyland did have a go a couple of years back, Chase, at a ticketed event. I can't remember the name of it. A lot of people with ticket events, and I think this includes Oogie Boogie, which probably is the most sought after event. Would you say Oogie Boogie?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. That sells out in record time. It's
hours.
So that event right there, probably the most popular. But people are saying about these events, there's just not enough time to get through everything. So they give you probably about 4 or 5 hours at the max. Jollywood Nights, I think, was about 4 hours. That's kind of what people are complaining a lot about. They have to line up for different things, and they're getting through one or two things over the whole 4 hours, and they just don't feel like they're getting their money's worth, I'd have to say. But I think it's for Disney to sort out. I think this time the reason why Oogie Boogie Bash sold out so quickly is what they weren't selling as many tickets. So the idea was to get less people into the park. Therefore, they could get through. The lineups would be lower for characters and other sorts of experiences, so that they could get through more of. And I think that's a good idea from Disneyland to do that. Just going to bring up the some of the fireworks that happen as well over the holidays, and this is again back this year. And while we look at Rivers of America as well, there's a bit of an announcement that came out this week regarding Fantasmic. I don't know if you saw that, Chase. Fantasmic is coming back in April. Fantasmic will not include the dragon scene. Of course, if you don't know what happened earlier on in this year, is that the dragon caught fire in the middle of the show.
Murphy caught fire.
Yeah, basically burnt to the ground. After that happened, Disney sort of said that they would suspend all fire techniques across all the parks across the world, just for a safety factor. They did do that, and we've had now an absence of Fantasmic, which only had just come back really for the whole year, and we're looking to see it back in April. That will include a new battle scene between Maleficent and also Mickey, but it won't include Murphy the Dragon. And why do we call Murphy the Dragon Murphy? Because Murphy's Law. It'll always
anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Absolutely, with the dragon. So yeah, Disneyland holidays. I'm very excited for that. What I want to do now is bring up my list here, and we're just going to go through a foodie guide that's happening. So all the food for the holidays, and this is an attraction in itself, you would have to say, the food at Disneyland. So I'm going to go through it, and let's have a look at the different types of food we're going to get across the parks and the hotels. We've also got some new popcorn buckets this year. So let me just line that up and we'll take a look. And the holiday food over at Disneyland is always awesome. This year, to say the least, by the way, this is one of their macarons this year, and if you haven't had a Disneyland macaron, you are missing out. Oh my God, it's fantastic. The first thing I wanted to kind of bring up is this, which is...
Oh, that looks so good.
So this is over at Alien Pizza Planet over there in Disneyland. So we have a Santa Alien macaron, and we also have, and that's filled with marshmallow, cream, and chocolate. And that's a this is going to be a taste for the senses, this one here. And so now we move on to this lot here. And we've got that Jingle Julep there in the corner. That's at Blue Bayou, all of this food here. Look at that burger. That burger looks awesome as well.
Is that I think that if I remember correctly, that, I don't know if that's the one, but there's one sandwich that they do, which is like the Thanksgiving holiday one with like turkey, cranberry. It has like everything, and everybody loves it. But it's like everything in Thanksgiving on a sandwich, and it's a huge hit. They've been doing it for a while, and they just said it's delicious and amazing.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know if that's it, but
I'm pretty sure that's over at Jolly Holiday. I believe Maria partaked in one of those last year. Moving on in Disneyland.
Ice cream.
Yeah. So we got a holiday chicken sandwich here, an orange cranberry parfait. Oh my God. And a galactic holiday punch. Oh my gosh. More food coming along here.
There's the turkey one.
Yep. So this is Jolly Holiday. So we've got this ham sandwich here. We've also got the turkey one, and also a little chocolate dessert there, and also that Mickey macaron. So that's over at Jolly Holiday. Oh, geez. Okay, we're moving on because we've got so much food to get through here.
That looks good.
Yeah. So right here, I'm just going to scroll up. Yep. That's the julep we were talking about. This is at this is at Marketplace. No, it is. Mint julep bar.
Tiana's?
Yeah, this is the mint julep bar. Yeah. We got a Mickey beignet there.
Beignet.
Yep, and the mint julep, of course. Moving forward now. Oh my gosh.
That looks so good. That cake looks so good.
So this is at Plaza Inn. We got a chocolate mint shortcake and a holiday cake there. Okay, we're still in Disneyland here. Over here, this looks like this is Red Rose Tavern. So every year we have the holiday grey stuff. So that's fantastic. Should definitely get into that. We got a Mickey shaped gingerbread over there. We got Mocha Peppermint Tavern cold brew for cold brew lovers, and we got the holiday punch there down the bottom.
That looks so yummy.
Moving on. So now we are at Riverbell Terrace. So we got a sticky toffee pudding and a cranberry apple tart there. And at Roll Street Veranda, we've got cookies and cream fritters and sweet cream cheese dipping sauce. Then we've got some churros here. moving on down to them. So we got, these are at Small World Promenade. We got the gingerbread churro, the butterscotch dipping sauce, and then churros near Big Thunder Railway. We got the chestnut churro there. And near Astro Blasters, we've got chocolate sugar churro and the peppermint ganache dipping sauce.
Oh my goodness.
Moving on. There's those other two. So this looks interesting, and this is a pretzel.
Cinnamon, cinnamon dusted pretzel.
So we've got a pretzel at Small World's Promenade here with butterscotch dipping sauce. My goodness.
Oh, goodness.
Moving on from there. So now I think we're moving out of Disneyland now into Candy Palace and Kitchen. And this is in Pooh Corner, my goodness. So we're still in Disneyland. So we got Mickey Christmas Light Apple. We got Holiday Mickey Cake Pop, Holiday Tree Cereal Treat, Peppermint Patties. What else?
Oh, yummy.
A Santa's hat, a snowflake apple, mini Santa hat cereal treat, and a snowman cake pop. Oh my God. Could there be any more treats? No. Yes, there is. There's bread as well.
There's more.
And this is at Auntie Cass Cafe. So we've got a Christmas tree pull apart, a snowman, sourdough, and then moving on from that, we've got oh my gosh, this is over Award Wieners. So we're over in DCA here now, and we got holiday beef dip, milk and cookies, funnel cake and fries, and brewery X Purple Dust hard shelter. I think that's the next. Okay, more bread.
Oh, yummy.
So this is Bowden Bread Cart, and that's a Christmas pull apart. Moving on. We've got a cappuccino cart. We've got salted caramel mocha bundt cake and Mickey shaped gingerbread over there. I've got so much of this.
Another churro.
More churros. So we've got...
That looks like a pesto mac and cheese cone. I bet that's in Cozy Cone.
Yeah, it is in Cozy Cone.
Delicious.
This is all from Cozy Cone. So you got the Cozy Cone churro there. You got an ice cream cone. You've got the chili cone con queso, and you've got a frozen cone connection. So that's over at DCA in Cozy Cones. Moving on.
Nice.
So
that looks like a banana. Was it banana? Possibly pecan, like something caramel. This is
at Fiddler Pfeiffer, and we've got a caramel pecan roll and a Mickey gingerbread over there. And then moving on at Flo's Cafe, we've got a gingerbread shake there as well.
Yummy.
Moving on to some drinks now. These are at Hollywood Lounge. So you got a cranberry raspberry refresher, a Rock House Brewing Co. You've got Seabourn Merry Christmas Margarita, and many, many more, I'm sure, over there.
Anything in those yellow neon cups, guys, is alcoholic.
Yeah. And this one's a mistletoe mule. So that one's over at I can't say this. Mendocino Terrace. Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. Good effort there. So that's a caramel crispy churro. We're over at Smoke Jumpers Grill here. Have you dined at Smoke Jumpers? Yep. Okay.
No, I haven't, but I need to.
Hibiscus Blueberry Aqua Fresca, a Golden Road Brewing Christmas Cut Wheat Ale, and a Peach Passion Fruit Hard Lemonade. Some of these names are pretty difficult, but they look absolutely delicious. Moving on.
Nice
Studio Carrying Co. We got a Feast burrito here, and also a cranberry refresher. And then... Let's move now on to the wine country. So they've got some specialty treats here as well. A sliced apple buck being one of them, and Willie's churros at Bonavista Street as well. So let's move on from there. Going through.
Oh, that looks good.
So just going to jump through these. These are what
Looks like a avocado on pizza or something.
and that's at Wine Country as well. We've got some more treats here at Wine Country. And now let's go to Bing Bongs. So Bing Bongs in DCA, right at the back of the park there. These are all the treats we have. Mickey Christmas tree lights and Mickey Christmas tree cake pops. Okay. Just getting to these now.
Fancy.
Yeah, they look good. They look good. So this is at Naples restaurant. This is inside. Yeah. This
Downtown
is
Disney.
Yep. Traditionals and a bar humbug cocktail there. Let's move on to sippers and
The popcorn
and
buckets.
stirrers and popcorn buckets. The one on the top there, the reindeer with his tongue out, was available last year. Do own one of those. I'm sorry and sad to admit. And this is the new music box popcorn bucket as well. We've got a couple of straw danglies there as well. One with Kermit and one with Chip and Dale there. So they're really cool. You can find them now. A lot of people told us on Australians Travelling that they are available right through the park. So most popcorn carts have all these, so you can get them readily. So don't worry about missing out if you're going to Disneyland for the holiday season. And we also have, the traditional type of popcorn bucket. We've also got a new a drink glowy, if you like to call it, that goes inside your drink there. And the Olaf one also goes inside the drink there as well. More popcorn bucket, a sipper there. We've also got these two available as well. So we've got the red and the green drink glowy. And then the one I really love this year is the Soldier Mickey popcorn bucket, which is, he looks fantastic. He's quite big as well. Like he's, like a real nutcracker sort of size.
Nice.
And then out there in downtown
Cake
Disney,
pops.
we've got the cake pops. Emily's favourite there in the middle from last year. She really loved that that cake pop. But they look yummy as well. We'll go to Loki in a sec. But what did you think of all that food that they said for Christmas?
Oh my God, I'm in trouble.
Like how could you get through all that? I mean, certainly not in one day, but even if you stayed at Disneyland for 2 weeks, there's no way you could get through all that food. And I guess it's all there for variety, but everything that we just looked at, I would probably eat. There's nothing.
I think what you need to do is fast for a week. Don't have anything or very, very little. And then when you go, just like let it all go.
Yeah. But the servings are huge as well. So it's just, I don't know. We found
Those
ourselves.
sandwiches are no joke. They are big.
And you can definitely order one of those between two. Wouldn't you agree? Like, you can definitely get two people eating some of those treats for sure. And yeah, so lots and lots of food and going on at Disneyland for the holiday season. I know from Australia there's a lot of people heading over there. By the way, it's so good to see people traveling from around the world to go to Disneyland again. We forget that just a couple of years ago we were in the middle of a pandemic and Disneyland was closed. What have you thought of the return of Disneyland since the pandemic? Would you say that we're back to the same crowd levels? We're back to the old Disneyland of pre-pandemic now, Chase? I think we've put it behind us. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think it's back in full force. Disneyland is back in full force. I also believe that we're not seeing anymore. The days of there being a slow season are done.
Yeah.
I just don't think there is one anymore. You can get one where it's a pretty reasonable day, But I think otherwise you're going to run into, it's going to be pretty busy because they're keeping people occupied. They're offering stuff. I haven't seen it to where it's pretty slow in the park. Reasonable, but not slow.
Yeah, so we don't have a slow season anymore. We used to have that January sort of layoff until the parks open. The other thing we don't have coming up next year is we had Disney 100 at the start of last year, so we moved on to from a holiday season straight into sort of that Disney 100 celebration. Would you say that brought more people? Look, overall, how did you feel the sort of celebration for Disney 100 went at Disneyland through the year?
I think it was under celebrated.
Yeah, yep. I mean, it's 100 years. We got a few things through the park and we got some merchandise lines, which, a lot of the merchandise was really good. A bit of it was a bit lackluster. Would you compare it to sort of, Walt Disney World's 50th, where that's kind of all they did? They did a bit of stuff on the castle and then they did a bit of merch line and people were sort of like, think back.
It seemed to lose its appeal pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, if you were to have maybe a week where you were celebrating it and you went all out, then you'd probably have a bigger deal. But to stretch it out over a year, it tends to slip into the background.
Yeah.
You're not seeing it. It's just like there.
Yep. Yeah. Take us back to the 50th birthday for Disneyland. If you can take us back that far, and how did you feel about the separation? The celebration of the park compared to the 50th at Walt Disney World. How was the 50th at Disneyland?
I think back then they were doing a lot more like celebration. I think since we've kind of been, it's Disneyland and I think Disney parks in general are kind of in a little bit of a slump right now, and they've got some major competition coming in. Epic Universe is coming. It's coming fast.
Yep.
And so that's going to be Universal Orlando. Universal Studios Hollywood is getting something. And so Disney has a lot of competition. They need to up their game so that they can really get stuff done. It's taking them 2 times as long, sometimes 3 times as long to get projects done.
Yeah.
It's good that we've got, Imagineers coming in and they don't have to move to Florida. They are still located in California. That was good.
Yep.
So it's, I think that Disneyland is kind of, Disney in general, I keep on saying Disneyland, but Disney in general is kind of in a little slump right now. They need to get back in action, but I think a lot of what happened on Disney Plus and the whole thing with Hulu has kind of put a damper on some things and available funds, and so it's just kind of dragging along.
Because they have, they did purchase a lot of assets. Like they got Fox as well. They've got the ABC network, which they have to look out of as well. Disney Plus still is, it's not making money. So there's another thing there. And there's a lot of focus being drawn away from the parks. And the parks seem to chug along and make, a quite sizable amount of money. But we haven't seen the investment we're kind of used to in the parks. We did have a little bit of a rumor go around that, Avatar was going into DCA this week, which a couple of days later, Disney came out and said that that's just not true. We haven't decided on a location yet. So we every time we get a little bit of a teaser like that, we get very excited these days, but we seem to get let down. We seem to hear about a lot of blue sky, as they've said, ideas, but there's nothing set in
Yeah.
stone. You don't see Bob Iger coming out and saying, this is going to happen. This is definitely going to happen. This
And
is the
this is
date.
when we're starting it. And this
Yeah,
is, yeah.
yeah. So we're not seeing a lot of that. We're hearing about, they want to spend a whole heap of money. The figure thrown around was 50 billion. And look, that's kind of the money they spent across the parks and cruise line in the last decade. So it's not it sounds like a huge amount, but it's for them, it's probably what they invested in the company over the last decade and then what they'll continue to invest. So yeah, but we're not seeing any projects that have got the green light. We're not seeing any CEO coming on and telling us exactly when it'll start and some real concrete. Whereas you're right, over there in Florida, we're seeing Epic Universe. We're seeing a park being built and it's going up in record time. Like every time you see it and someone does a flyover, something new's there. It's really starting to take shape now. And it must be a little bit scary to Disney this competition. I love Disney. To be honest with you, if you go over to Universal in Hollywood, you can see it in a day, whereas Disneyland, you can stay for a whole week.
Yeah.
And Disneyland continues to perform really well. Like I said, there's not enough room in the park, which is why we're hoping so much for expansion for people, so that the park is full nearly every day of the year now. Disney World, different story. A lot of room over there. We're seeing a lot of blank space and all that sort of thing. There is, especially with Disneyland, a lot of locals that are so loyal to the park and will keep going back and back and back and back over and over again. But yeah, it's interesting to look at how Disney's going at the moment. I think there'll be brighter days. I think they just need to get Disney Plus under control and get it to a place where it's making money, and there's no reason why they can't do that. And look, to be honest with you, I've loved, probably 80% of the content that's come to Disney Plus. We've had some brilliant Star Wars series. We've had something else which we're going to talk about next, which is this fella, which So Loki has come out, had this last episode, and would you say that's it? Like, we can't move on from here. What I will say about the next segment, tune out if you don't want spoilers. If you haven't seen the last episode, because we're going to spoil it a fair bit here. So make sure you tune out if you want to do that. So what did you think of Loki this week? This final episode and where it placed Loki right at the end. What did you think of all that, Chase?
I loved this. I loved this season, and it really brings Loki full circle.
Yeah.
And and a lot of study and a lot of things went into it, and you just saw when you first saw Loki. He was like, conquering, he was mischievous, he was like, he caused a lot of trouble, and, he was constantly in a thorn in Thor's side. And, but you still saw the brotherly connection that kind of maintained itself, but it was like 50-50. And I think once we saw like the Loki series start, you're like,
Yep.
okay, somebody has finally caught up to Loki. And he's like, they've caught on to what he's doing. Now they've got him. And he just started realizing that, there's a lot more to this life than what he imagined. It wasn't just something to be conquered, it was something to be saved.
Yep.
It became very philosophical because, as his line always was, I am burdened with glorious purpose. Well, sometimes they said, there's more glory than burden. and or I think it might have been the other way around. There's more like burden than glory. But it was like, we see Loki here come and just save the timelines because we thought, this is the end. There goes the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yep.
And Loki came in, he went, the horns came back. So now he's like the god of storytelling. He sits upon the fallen throne of He Who Remains. He has brought all the timelines together in one, glorious. It was fantastic to see him literally ascend the stairs to this position.
Yeah. Yep.
Of which this is now his role, and he realized this is what I was born to be. And
Yep.
And so this for Loki, like now everybody realizes, it's, don't you miss Loki sometimes? It's like, this is, now he's got to look over the whole Marvel universe, and we saw the glorious tree of, that he wove with this, all the story, all the timelines coming together into where he sits on his golden green throne.
Yeah.
So I was just blown away at where we are with Loki now, and I'm so happy because who better to run the Marvel Cinematic Universe than have Loki at the center of it?
Yeah, and he's kind of. Do you think he's trapped in his position now? He has to hold the universe together, so that's his final place. I mean, it's kind of like, would you call it a death kind of in a way, because he's trapped there. He kind of can't move, but he's got a godlike status. So maybe it's an ascension more than a death.
I would think so, because we still have, don't forget, like, I mean, I haven't seen the cancellation, even all the stuff that they have going on. I still think they're doing the Kang, the whole Kang movies that have to do with, I think they're still planning to do those, because there was a lot of work that went into that.
Yep.
And really putting through his character and in this one, and having him be the one to say, what, haven't you figured out how to control your time skipping?
Yeah.
Didn't you know you could do this?
Yeah.
I told you how to do that. He's like, everything here is all because I wanted it to be this way. And then all of a sudden it snapped and the light bulb went on in Loki, and he's all like,
Yep.
okay, I don't need you anymore. I can do all this. And,
Yep.
he just proved that he was so much more valuable to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I don't think, I've got YouTube in the background here, and, there was a Tom Hiddleston interview that he did after the fact. And
Yep.
it looks like, it says, there was some talk about the time stone, that he's literally become like the time stone.
Right. Yep.
But this isn't, I don't think this is the end of Loki. I think, who knows? There could be a lot more. Like, what happens to everybody? What happens to Mobius? What happens to B-15? What happens to Sylvie? What happens
Yep.
to, and I think this part and the TVA is going to play a big role in the new Deadpool movie. So, so I think we haven't seen the end of Loki yet.
You think he'll, throughout the MCU, he'll make appearances, like they'll refer to him, or he might, be talking to someone. Yeah, look, there's a chance that he could be in anything now because he's across the whole MCU. So, yeah.
Right.
Would you say, though, that there's going to be another season of Loki?
I don't know if they'll do a whole season, but I think he's gonna appear in
And yep,
key. I think we'll see him kind of pop up like we see cameos in other series. I think Loki is going to be this is going to be something still. I mean, he's Tom Hiddleston was saying, I believe it was on. He was either on Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel, where this has been like 14 years of his life. He says he was like in
yeah,
his 20s when he started playing Loki. Now he's in his 40s.
yeah,
And it's just like he's like saying this has been an amazing journey, but I don't think it's quite over for Loki, and I think Tom loves playing him. So I think
yeah,
this was a big season for him.
yeah. Yeah, I think so too. If you haven't watched it yet, get over there and watch it on Disney Plus. Another great season, and it's. I found myself looking back into season 1 and watching it the whole way through, which I do quite often when I enjoy a series. If you haven't seen it yet, it is a good watch through if you want to binge watch it through both seasons, you can now. But I found the ending to be a little bit final. I agree with you. I don't think we'll see a series 3, but we will. Of course, as he's across the MCU, I think we're going to see him in quite a few series and movies to come. So that's great. So we'll be able to check in on him and see how he's going. So that puts us at the end of the show. Your thoughts on Disneyland and the holiday season? Any final thoughts, Chase? You think it's worth visiting the parks over the holidays?
Oh, absolutely. Just for the food. After seeing all that, I gotta go for the food. I gotta use my magic key and go and get some food.
One thing we didn't show as well was the character outfits. What do you think of those this year's, Chase? Did you like what you saw?
Look adorable.
Yep. They always do a really good job with that. And all of those sort of character. The Mickey and Minnie character outfits are all available on Shop Disney. So if you can't get to the parks, you can sort of indulge in a bit of Disney merchandise on, of course, Shop Disney, which everyone, you go over there and you empty your wallet pretty fast. Before we go, just want to say big hi to our groups, Disney Cruising Australia and and Australians Travelling to Disney. Hi to everyone in Australian Disney fans in Australia. We love you. Thanks so much for joining those groups and being a part. And I'm sure Chase would welcome some of you to go over to DisneylandToday.net and join up with the fun over there. And also, we've got that QR code right there with Chase's TikTok. Chase, when he's in the park, does some very long live streams, and they're fantastic because you get to go on things like It's a Small World, which he loves to go on every time he's over there. So you get over there, have a look at those because they're great. They're the latest ones from Halloween, I believe, great time over there in Halloween. Lots in that because there was lots of new places that Chase sort of went through DCA over there for a couple of days. So that's great. So go over there. But I think that's it for today's show. We've got it underneath the hour by 1 minute. So that is awesome. So we'll try and get these a little bit shorter. But when Disneyland releases a foodie guide that's like 31 to 40 items long, it's pretty hard to do that. But we got pretty close today. But anyway, thanks for joining me again today, Chase, all the way from the USA. I'm here in Australia. We'd love to see you next week when we come back and see the Magic Partners live. But until then, it's not goodbye, but we'll see you guys real soon. See you later.